age of the paperless office, right? Isn't it when you were growing up? I mean, when I was growing up and going to school, by the 21st century, it'll all be on the computers. Well, that's not necessarily the case. And especially in most cases, your office or even home office or home has information that is lying around that is probably not even very useful anymore, but you don't know what to do with it. Not to mention, part of the paperless office aspects are also a security risk based on how you handle them. Here from Confidential Data Destruction to talk about the handling of sensitive information and how to get rid of extra paper that you don't need in your house, especially anything that has certain information on it. Steve Sturgeon, good morning.
Good morning, and how are you this morning?
I am great. And of course, we were talking off the air about a few things, and I was telling the story about me shredding a bunch of stuff in my home shredder. And I mean, for like an afternoon's worth, and it eventually literally blew up in my face. And you mentioned that if you're shredding for an hour or longer, you really should probably have a professional handle it.
Well, it takes about a minute for us to shred a full box of paper, a standard banker box of paper. So you can just imagine the time saving, whether it's an office or an individual, that can take place. Plus, when we handle it, we're going to recycle it and process it so to ensure that it remains confidential and not in a trash can.
Exactly, and trash can becomes public property, as you say, and even if it's shredded, some people have the ability to make it put back together if it's sitting out there. And really importantly, though, talk about the security of our documents and what we do with them. Eventually, tax returns, employee files, things like that become where you don't need to store them anymore in your company. It's used its relevance, or you've transferred them to some sort of other system to where they don't need to be stored in a box anymore. And it's really important that to get rid of them using someone like or a company like Confidential Data Destruction. Tell me a little bit about what you do when we call you to pick up a box or several boxes of documents that are especially sensitive information.
Well, we offer three choices. One is that we come out and we actually have mobile trucks that do on-site shredding, and the trucks will come out and we'll take the material, we put them in our 64-gallon containers, which are like the size of a trash can that you would see, and it goes into a conveyor belt, drops through the shredding equipment, and the trucks hold about 5.5 tons of shredded material. So your boxes of paper, 10 boxes of paper might be a ton. About a ton of paper. And so that's going to be mixed with the other 4.5 tons inside the truck. And off-site collection is where we pick it up, take it back to our plant for shredding. We shred it there, handled the same way, confidentially. And then thirdly, we have drop-off at our offices here in Santa Clarita. So you can bring in a box or two if you want to and just drop it off, and we'll shred it for you.
That's important because after a while, especially us, I think we still have some boxes somewhere that I'd like to get rid of. I'll have to bring some by. But that's important too, because someone like me, I have a home business outside of this, so there's stuff that my wife and I have collected, but not to mention we talk about old bank statements, we talk about tax returns that we no longer need to keep and things like that, even from a home perspective. And it's good to know that we could that is an option to be able to drop off.
Well, it could be credit card account numbers, and unless your shredding is really fine, and you put it, and if it's not, and you put it into a trash can, people can pull account numbers and the like with your name. They know who it is and where it is inside that bag. They can pull it off and your identity can be stolen. And that happens to, I forget the number exactly, but I think it's like 20 times an hour, somebody's identity is stolen.
And that's a very, very, it's such a prevalent thing anymore that, that's one of the first places to stop that sort of potential is to make sure that your documents are securely taken care of.
One of the interesting aspects that people like to see and watch is that we actually have cameras on the outside and inside of the truck, so you can actually watch your material being destroyed.
Exactly, and I've seen that, and that is an amazing thing. So don't let a shredder blow up in your face. Don't try to tear them up by hand or take them somewhere and drop them off where you don't know what's going to happen to them. Confidential data destruction, you can come out to you, you can come to them. And you do have, you place, you're saying, like drop boxes at businesses so that.
Oh, absolutely.
And that's so that they can be stored and then you pick it up and just take care of it.
Some of them look like pieces of furniture. They're called executive consoles. Looks like a piece of furniture, and they're secured, they're locked, and our destruction specialists come in, pull it out, and shred the material.
Outstanding. Confidential data destruction. The website is shredderonsite.com.
That's correct.
And your phone number?
661-257-9970.
Stick around because we are going to come back after the break and talk about electronic media and how that can actually be compromised as well unless you actually destroy it or get rid of it properly.